Welcome back everyone to episode number 14 of the Bloodborne Ultimate Walkthrough. Today we're going to be visiting Byrgenwerth. We're going to defeat the boss Rom. So let's head to this second tombstone here. So once we're here, what I want you to do is just drop down in this middle section. And we're going to look over the edge and you can see this guy walking right here. We're just going to get behind them. Up, charge one up. Nice. So we can't open this gate yet. That is coming up very soon. We're gonna circle back up these stairs, and now we're gonna hug the left side here. You're gonna see that one particularly standing there. Just wait for them to walk off, and now we're good. We can get close up to this enemy. You don't want to fall directly on top of them because it'll bump them. So next to them, charge one up and finish them off. Next, what we want to do is just hang out behind this tree and wait for the other one to wander back. It's just doing a little bit of a patrol here. If you don't want to be this patient, you can of course go fight it head on. I might do that just to show you some of the moves that it's offering, but just know that if you wait for it to circle back around, it will, and you can definitely deal with it from behind this tree. So let's meet it out. If you do pursue it, let it chase you down here though. Okay, so if they grab you, they're going to deal a hell of a lot of damage, and it's also going to build up frenzy. So you need to be careful about frenzy. We've discussed frenzy in depth in the last episode, so you're going to start seeing that more frequently in the later game stages because these are just monsters that our humanity can't comprehend. They're beyond the terror of what we've previously known. Alright. So now what we're going to do is work our way up here. That was really the only dangerous guy that you'd see in this area. There's I don't know what we'll call this guy, tentacle face up here behind the tree. So just work your way. He's a little bit slow. He's got his back to us. I don't know what he's guarding. Pretty shitty security. Charge one up. Oh, that's no good. I did not think he was going to get that off. But now you get to see how fun this is. Absolutely disgusting. So that attack takes about 45% of our health and doesn't give us an opportunity to regain because it's just such a slow and drawn out process. So that one really sucks. But that's alright. Let's grab this. Arcane Lake. This is going to increase our arcane resistance. If you haven't figured it out now, Lake improves resistances. Alright, so what we want to do here is we're going to want to draw out those enemies up on the top there. There's something very large in the background. It's going to fire fireballs at us. It's going to shoot fireballs at us. So it is a ranged attacker, but also it's pretty tough in melee, and we'll deal with that in a second. But what we want to do is just approach, get these guys to jump down, and then back off. So stick on the top tier here, get the attention of the closest one, and then back away. Now we'll deal with them one-on-one. And you can see there is a little bit of damage they took from jumping down. So that's nice. And after I do my first hit to them, they're usually going to jump in the air, and that's when you see me dodging. Alright. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do is move myself over here. We can block these fire projectiles with these pillars. Kind of surprised it hasn't aggroed us yet. If you're wondering what that creaking sound is, that's just a rocking chair upstairs. Don't worry about it. So, if you can get that flower, if you can hit that flower with maybe a ranged attack or anything else, you're going to do pretty good damage to this. We don't really have that ability too much, so I'm going to drag this guy into the center. And then I'm going to fight at melee range. Come on in here, buddy. If he's not pursuing, we can just run away and he'll move in. Typically. They're thinking about it. Come on, buddy. There. Keep walking forward. So, if you can see when it stands up on its back legs, it's got a mouth in the center of it. So it'll try to grab you and pull you into that for its melee damage. I'm just going to go ahead and fight it up here. You can see it's... Oh! Creates like a little... Oh my god, I'm right in there. Charge it up. Continue to move. You can get caught in the center of it. It's really annoying. Let it do that spit attack. That's what you want to take advantage of. It's not the easiest opponent to deal with because of the way it's shaped and how you can constantly end up in front of it with those legs trapping you in there. So that is a little bit of a pain in the butt. But as long as you're aware of what attacks it's got available to it, you can pretty much deal with it. Again, if you have ranged abilities, go ahead and take advantage of them. I'm trying to stick with as much as possible the stuff that brought us here, because I know for sure that's what all of you have to work with. So anytime I can use what we've been using, I will. There's an enemy down there, but we're going to wait on that because we've got the ability to open the shortcut first. Always want to open up shortcuts before any other combat, just in case you die. It could make things a lot easier on yourself. Let's kill this enemy. Now they're guarding some sedatives, which we want. Their attacks are so fast, it's really annoying. I can't even get my second swing off. But those little jab attacks are very weak, so they're not damaging, but what they are is they're annoying, and they're meant to stagger you enough that they can try to jump on you and deal their frenzy and main damage points there. Alright, so there's nothing on the base level here to kill you, so don't worry about that. You can loot this chest. So the pearl slug is another material. What we're going to do here, there's a hunter upstairs. So we're going to first open this door. This is just another entrance. And then we're going to walk up the stairs a little bit to get the hunter's attention. And then we're going to immediately retreat under the stairs. So the hunter's just going to come down. They're walking really slow. So once they get down to the base of the stairs and turn to face us, we're going to charge up in R2. We're going to use this staircase as a body block and continue to try to charge up R2s. Oh my god. Amazing. Yeah, you want to watch out for those. And they're not playing along. Okay, I'm going to back off a little bit. So you can see if they're hitting us with the cane, that's not a big deal. We can trade with that all day long. Didn't get there fast enough. Oh no. Ouch. surprised they survived that one hit. So as you can see, that's an arcane user. And we have a lot of the stuff that they use. However, we don't have any investment in arcane, so that's why a lot of these items that we obtain, you'll see like the gloves, the ebrietas, the old hunter bone, things like that are useful in combat or navigational purposes, but you have to have arcane investment, and we just haven't bothered with that. It definitely is a fun way to play, but it's a more complicated way to play, and that's not the point of this guide. Alright, so let's go on up. We don't have any enemies on this level here, so what we're going to do is open up this chest. Get the student attire. The spider hides all manner of rituals, certain to reveal nothing, for true enlightenment need not be shared. Interesting. If you understand the lore, that makes a lot of sense to you. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go in on that. Here we've got another note. When the red moon hangs low, the line between man and beast is blurred, and when the great ones descend, a womb will be blessed with child. Alright. So we're going to climb up this ladder here. And we're going to acquire the key that opens up that door right in the center. It is locked, in case you were wondering. So that's it. And we're going to go up top and kill this one enemy at the very top. We'll go up one more tier. We'll let them kind of come to us. Oh no! It hit. Yeah, it's a little bit tough with this weapon in that cramped area. I did a charge attack, but it got interrupted after the first hit. It's kind of weird. So we'll grab this. Empty Phantasm Shell. And this is another one of those unique items that I was pointing out to you a second ago, where it'll be grayed out, and you could use it with arcane. So the thing about this one that I really like is it imbues your weapon with arcane power. So it's like a bolt paper that you can reuse over and over, but with arcane and not bolt. By the way, we'll definitely be using bolt against the boss. Bolt, like I said before, is very good against most bosses. It typically becomes the go-to weakness. If you're fighting a boss and you're struggling, usually look into applying bolt to your weapon. So we're going to go through this doorway here. This is an NPC that you can summon for a fight. I don't like to do that. I won't assume that you have the ability to do that, because you have to have insight to be able to summon a boss. So I'm not going to teach you how to fight enemies with NPCs. So if you're wondering what that red aura was, we just gained 2 insight just from speaking with this NPC. And it's kind of weird because you're like, how did we learn anything? He's just kind of mumbling. But if you watch what he's doing, that's how they're communicating. So they're pointing. Maybe they're pointing at the moon. Or maybe they're pointing at that walkway. You can take a look. You can see how the moon has a reflection. But then if you look even lower, there's this weird kind of ripple that shouldn't exist here, and a light. So neither one of those 2 things should exist there. So that's basically our clue to drop down below. So before I do that, I want to return to the base, Hunter's Dream, and we're going to equip ourselves properly. We could definitely go in there how we are now and have a good shot at winning the fight. But I also want to show you how to get back to this boss in the easiest fashion in case you die. So there's one thing to know about the fight to begin with. You can actually get in some good damage the first attempt you fight the boss, because the boss will be standing there. Wait, where am I going? I done messed up already. My brain is totally toast. Okay, I know what I did. I didn't continue. Anyway, so the boss is basically docile to start the fight. You walk up to it and you start beating on it, and then the fight starts. But if you die to the boss, the next time you enter the arena, of course the boss is going to be aggressive, and it'll actually have minions with it. So your best chance to beat the boss is your first opportunity to fight it. So if you're familiar with the fight, you have a really big advantage to start off at the beginning. Alright, so I think we're going to be close to being able to channel some echoes, but we might have a little bit less. Yeah, we're just going to have to consume an item here.
Farewell, good mate.
So let's do that real quick. We'll try to use one of the mid-tier ones. We'll just do 2 of these. Perfect. Plenty. And we'll channel this. Looking good. We're almost at 30, 30, 30. I like it.
Farewell, good mate.
Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want to make sure that I equip the bolt paper. And we have 6 insight currently. Go ahead and use that. Acquire some more of these. Perfect. Now, I'm going to stick with the axe, but if you have an upgraded alternative weapon, like, for instance, the Holy Blade, like Ludwig's Holy Blade is pretty good in this fight, and then the Tonitrus is very good in this fight. In fact, if you've got it upgraded to a decent amount, you can pretty much one-shot the minions, and it's got a pretty good weapon speed and a blunt attack with the bolt upgrade, of course. So you can do pretty good work with the Tonitrus. We're just going to stick with the Hunter's Axe. Basically anything with blunt attack is going to do good against the spiders. And we're going to imbue it with bolt, and we've already got this improved so much that it's going to be our best weapon choice here. One thing that you should consider is the boss doesn't take much damage to the head. It's heavily armored on the head, so you're going to want to hit it on the side. So just be aware of that. That's going to be your key positioning. And if you're approaching the boss and it's got minions on its right and left, try to figure out which side has less minions and approach it on that side of its body. It's going to be safer for you. As far as armor, you might want to protect yourself with more physical resistance and arcane potential resistance as well. So, like I said, we did pick up the Arcane Lake rune, so that's what would help you there. Typically, when you grab something in a zone, it's there for a reason, and that'll help us with the boss potentially as well. So, I'm not going to do that, but you've got the opportunity to do it. Let's go ahead and head to Byrgenwerth. Okay, so let's just assume that we had died to the boss and we've reset here and we're going to be running back. You don't need to fight anything. You can just sprint straight through this door here and then hang a left. But if you wait to run into here, you'll end up encountering that one roaming bug at the beginning. So you don't want to spend too much time at the lamppost. So we're good. We'll just run in here. And you're going to want to look down and drop. Now remember, this is our first encounter with Rom. So we can take our time. We can just walk up here, get right next to it, use the bolt paper, and then charge up a swing and attack it. If you're coming back in here after a death, you're going to want to be running in here with the bolt already prepared, and then getting in as much damage as you can. You see the spiders start dropping immediately. You can actually hit the enemy while it's basically transparent. So we can see here we've got it appearing, and it looks to me like it's a pretty even spread as far as the enemies are going. When the spider lifts up like that, it's telling you it's starting to attack. There's a couple different moves it's got. So we're going to keep on the move and try to get in here. Do not waste your time trying to kill these spiders. It can be fairly lucrative because of the fact that they'll drop blood vials. Oh, that's no good. Don't get greedy. See how it flipped over and I didn't stick in the pocket there? There we go. So a lot of people struggle with this fight. I know the first time I played it, I struggled, but it's just a knowledge thing. Like, I don't know the attacks. I don't know if I should kill the little minions. You don't know if they're going to keep respawning, if you do or don't kill them. So this fight is more about knowledge and less about execution. It can go unlucky for you. You can get them to attack more frequently with spammy kind of things, but we weren't giving them much opportunity to attack because we're dealing significant damage. We have a high-leveled strength weapon with bolt applied to it. So that's two of their weaknesses that we're landing heavy damage on. And we started out the fight in an advantageous state. So make the most out of your first encounter with the boss, and you'll do really good. But when you're done defeating him, you're going to head over to this, what looks like a spoop, and see what's going on over here. You don't need to be worried about combat right now. Alright. Hey, ritual secret broken. Seek the nightmare newborn. We remember this dude. So, even though we can see them now, they're still a threat to us. So we don't want to linger in front of that door. We're going to run right through it. Go ahead and heal up if you've got any damage, because we've got a few enemies in front of us. So let's just run it. Keep it moving. And you'll see here in a moment where we've landed. Yahar Ghul. I'm actually wearing that armor set. Kill those dudes immediately.
This time's finished.
It's been a minute since we've seen those type of enemies, but they are new and improved. Alright, so we're going to head down the stairs. Just going to drop down here, grab this. We've got one more roamer. We're going to deal with him. And there's a lamppost right here. We're going to take this right back to the Hunter's Dream. And you're going to get to see things are a little bit different. Listen to the music. As you progress through the game, you'll sometimes notice subtle changes, and then other times the changes are more drastic. It's just one of those cool things. Now, you can get things like this before you're supposed to in the natural progression of the game by having a higher level of insight. So this is why I constantly reiterate the fact that in another playthrough, try it by keeping your insight and just get it higher and higher and higher, and you'll just see all these things that you never noticed before or that you never had the opportunity to see earlier in the game. All right, so we should have enough to level up here.
What is it? Very well, let me.
Nice. And we're 10 levels of endurance away from capping that out. And then we'll bump up strength continually, or we maybe will choose to do something nuanced like add a little bit of arcane so that we can have some of those tricks at our disposal. Sweet.
Well, good. May you.
So that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. If you have any questions, add them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'd love to see you join me over on Twitch. We're still streaming some Breath of the Wild, and on weekends we do community streams where I'll do some trivia, some party games, drinking some adult bevies, things like that. It's always a good time, and I'd love for you to join us. So check us out over at twitch.tv/baldandbearded. Link is in the video description as well. Everybody have a good one, and we'll see you next time.